Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., continuing into Season 4 with Episode 4 now. Last time we had pretty much a worldwide kind of blackout, which was staged by the Watchdogs. The Watchdogs staged like a worldwide attack on all of humanity, under the guise of being Inhumans rising up as a resistance against Watchdogs discrimination, even Watchdogs discrimination and stuff, and they posed as Inhumans with like the kind of like really dark filtered faceless kind of like threatening voice modulated messages and all that kind of jazz, and all the while they had actual Watchdogs dressing up as concerned civilians but with actual assault rifles and military grade armor and everything, and they were going around trying to find the Inhumans that were responsible for the attack. And with Elena being in Miami at a friend's bachelorette party, it was really dangerous for her too, but luckily Coulson and the team came in and saved the day, and they all fought back and actually stopped the Watchdogs in the end, so that was good. But we had May being killed and then resurrected in Radcliffe's lab. In Radcliffe's lab, she was the one. I think she was pretty much like the last surviving member of all of the kind of people who had been affected by the kind of ghostly mental kind of infection that was giving off hallucinations and stuff. So Gemma had the bright idea to take her to Radcliffe's lab, since he actually was kind of more qualified and more kind of experienced with dealing with crazy stuff than regular doctors were. So she took her there, and then he came up with the idea of actually shutting down her brain and then rebooting it to get rid of it, like it was like some kind of virus or something, which worked. But then because of the EMP burst going out and the kind of because of the EMP burst going out, like a lot of the stuff that you wouldn't wish that you wish wouldn't happen ended up happening. So the car stopping in the road, Robbie being worried about Gabe being stuck on the metro, like he was going to be in trouble with some rioters and vandals that were taking advantage of, like, we had that whole thing going on too, like people actually going out and rioting and taking advantage of like the crisis and panic and stuff like that. And then just as she was about to defibrillate May and bring her back, the power goes out, and then she's stuck powerless for 7 minutes until Radcliffe actually brought out Ada's power source. He actually took Ada's power source out of her chest and then brought that out, and then use that to power up the machine and bring her back. So May is alive. May is back with us now. So her and now, like I said, then like her and Phil actually have that in common. I mean, she was dead for a lot less time and no surgery or alien DNA required to try and bring her back. Just good old, just a good old power source created by a transhumanist. So that ended up saving her. So yeah, that was all good and fun too. Then we had so we had Daisy meeting Gabe. Daisy actually met Gabe and helped Robbie save him from the vandals and everything, so that was cool. And then he, after seeing her powers in action, even like just for like a second, like he still managed to deduce that she was Quake from the news, and then warned her against actually coming back and being near Robbie again, because I think he was afraid for his brother. He was afraid that he was actually getting back into some bad deals and bad business like late at night, and then coming home even later and being tired and stuff like that. So yeah, we already see from that kind of dynamic, from that kind of perspective, that the kind of dynamic between Robbie and Gabe is that Robbie is kind of like the Gabe is kind of like Robbie's canary, and he's the one thing, like he believes he's the one thing that's actually holding him together, and if he wasn't there, then Robbie's wheels would come off. So no pun intended, or pun kind of intended, maybe pun just a little bit intended, but. Yeah, but we found that. So then, once he actually finds out that Daisy is the Inhuman from the news, he kind of gets more concerned, and he doesn't really explicitly threaten her. He just says, Robbie doesn't really need bad people or badly influential people around him, so it's in their best interest to go their separate ways, which Daisy does. So she will be back. She'll be back, like her, and I think her and Robbie's kind of alliance and stuff is there to stay, and hopefully it becomes kind of like a friendship of sorts down the line, so we'll see where that leads. But we had all that good stuff, and then we had Senator Nadia and Jeffrey Mace. Mace, by the end of the episode, Mace actually revealed Shield. He re-unveiled Shield to the world as a legitimate government agency again, supported by the United Nations and the Accords and all that stuff. So he's kind of revealed them as an agency again, and also one dedicated to helping protect the world from inhuman threats, and to also kind of establish that it is more of like a gray area, like someone who's inhuman is not inherently bad or inherently criminal. It's like, if people do decide to misuse their powers, then then Shield will step in and do what's necessary, but they're not there to play kind of judge, jury, or executioner and take out someone just because they start exhibiting powers, but they will do what's necessary at the end of the day and actually try and still be the good guys. So that is, I think knowing that's what Coulson believes in, I'm kind of curious to see how he's still gonna go forward and still keep operating under Mace's leadership, because I think so far Mace doesn't seem like a bad guy. He literally does. He doesn't really seem like like the kind of director, like I think at least I could have envisioned leading Shield, but he does still seem to have his heart in the right place, and he does still seem to want to protect people. So because of that, I'm still kind of willing to see where things go, and I'm curious to see how Coulson kind of operates under him compared to operating under someone like Fury. So yeah, it will be interesting. But we had Jeffrey Mace, and then we had Senator Nadia, someone who is virulently she's explicitly against Inhumans, and insists on passing off the Inhumans as a threat to all of mankind. And at the end of the episode, we even saw her on like a phone call, celebrating the elimination of 17 Inhumans amidst the kind of attack staged by the Watchdogs. And there was a body in like, she said she was in her brother's apartment, and then once she left the apartment, the camera actually showed us a body, like a body turned to stone. I don't know if it was a husk. It didn't look like a husk, because if it was a husk, then we should have seen it cracking towards like right before it got to black. But it didn't crack. It looked like a genuinely kind of stone dead body. So I don't know if she killed her brother, or if her brother was dead when she got there, or what's happening. And I don't really, I mean, we've yet to even find out who Senator Nadia is and what her backstory is, so it's honestly just questions. That's what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is. It's questions, and then over time it's answers. It's just one long big answer that kind of feels like the ultimate payoff. So one of the reasons why I love this show, and also another reason, those of you who have been watching WandaVision itself, and also my reaction to WandaVision, WandaVision finally actually debuted did its own debut and incorporation of the Darkhold, and it's a good thing. I think, I even posted to Twitter about this. It is impeccable timing that just as I'm finishing WandaVision and just as I'm starting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, that I'm actually getting introduced to the Darkhold. That is just really just tip-top timing. But yeah, I think it's I still don't know what it is besides, WandaVision, Agatha explained it was like a magic book. It was like a book with extremely powerful witches, or at least one powerful witch, like the Scarlet Witch was actually prophesied in the Darkhold, and prophesied to be stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme and all that stuff. So I think the Darkhold, I think some people do say that the Darkhold looks different in WandaVision compared to how it looks in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I've also heard it's in Runaways. I think Runaways kind of makes sense for me, because Nico is is like a witch, kind of her own accord. She is like a magic user with the staff, and especially I haven't seen season 3 because that's not on Disney Plus, and neither is Cloak and Dagger. So I'm kind of waiting for Disney to release those onto there as well. But season 2 does explore more of like how her powers are changing a little bit. Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen Runaway season 2, but it does explain it. It does kind of show you how her powers are changing a little bit, because when she goes extremely dark with her magic, like her eyes change, her eyes crack up the same way that the bad guys from Doctor Strange did in the first movie. So, I think I've heard that they actually incorporate the Darkhold like a little bit into that as well. So I think given that Nico is that kind of a user, it would make sense that they use it, and maybe she uses it to understand the other side of her powers a bit more. But it was in WandaVision. I was very, very happy to see it in WandaVision, and many other people were too. Many other people who have watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and know their thing. I was lucky to not run into any spoilers. So I think I kind of watched like a very few reactions for that particular episode, in case actually some people actually did start talking about the Darkhold and stuff. So I kind of managed to avoid spoilers, thanks to that. But I mean, it goes without saying, I'm excited to get into this season. But also, because like the Dark Cold is the Dark Cold, and now Wanda, now in the present day of the Marvel of the MCU timeline, Wanda is actively studying from the Dark Cold and potentially learning how to crack open the multiverse from that. I'm intrigued to see how the Dark Cold in this show actually is, and then hopefully once Runaways season 3 comes out, I can explore more of that too. So it's good to see. It's good to see all these things incorporated. And I think, I'm curious. I'm curious as to what I mean. On the one hand, I think I kind of get why it might look different, because it's a magic book, so maybe I'm kind of guessing maybe it can actually change its appearance and make itself look different to different people. So that could be maybe like a feature or like a use it has for itself. Maybe it's like sentient or self-aware or something. I don't know, but or like either way, like at least like in terms of production, it might just be a case of actually linking the universes without actually linking them because of higher ups and all that usual stuff, because I think that is the main reason we can't actually have everything being explicitly kind of referenced and everything, but just little Easter eggs here and there. But either way, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Dark Cold is in this, because in this one it created ghosts, in this one it turned living people into ghosts, and it's done some bad stuff, so it should be an interesting story to explore. So yeah, I just want to say that though. I just want to say I was really, really excited after WandaVision, because I mean, WandaVision itself was an incredible series, and I can't wait to see where they go in Doctor Strange 2. But also, hearing and seeing the Dark Cold being explored, and seeing the Dark Cold now in Wanda's hands too. That woman can do no wrong. So So yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what exploration is done for the Dark Cold in this show, and especially like seeing that happen too, like seeing more magic being incorporated into a show with such mostly human people is going to be interesting too. So yeah. Anyway, Dark Cold stuff done. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 3 stuff done. Onto the actual episode. I've been rambling, as per usual, so my apologies. But yeah, that is it. So on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 4. As always, this will be the highlight reel, the reaction. So if you guys want to catch the full-length reaction, that one will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. But yeah, episode 4. Let's go.
I'll see you tonight. Love you.
Yep, I love you too.
I love you both. God damn it. 3 simple words, just getting me all gooey. Oh, crap. Oh, the door's already open. Oh, she packing. Oh, she packing. Gemma with a gun.
I had nowhere else to turn.
Oh, she's... Oh, oh, that... Oh, damn. There's blood on the walls. Jesus, girl. God damn.
In order to quell the hyperactivity in your reticular activating system, we had to very carefully, gently kill you. Just a little bit.
Just gently kill you, just a little stab to the heart.
Yeah, then came back.
You can trust me with your life, Agent May.
She already seems so sweet and helpful. Yeah.
What if it wasn't voluntary?
Oh, don't threaten her. Oh, my Daisy.
I've missed you too.
It's hard to lose people you care about.
God
Believe me,
damn
I know.
it.
Somewhere along the way, something went.
Besides, it's not easy to find out your colleagues are back from the dead.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. How Maria Hill reacted to that kind of news. Oh, and Robbie's here. Oh, wait. Lola versus the Charger. Lola versus the Charger.
What do you weigh? 210? 220?
That's not the extra weight you're driving. You should let me take the wheel.
My car, I drive.
Yeah, no one touches
Behind the
Lola.
wheel anyway.
Of course, and you're so mean. You're so mean. Oh! Oh, they had a quintet there the entire time. And he's out cold. Damn, Coulson took down the Ghost Rider. Or at least Robbie. Took down Robbie. Yeah.
What the hell is she doing?
Beats me. She just gave it to her?
Well, technically, as S.H.I.E.L.D. Special Advisor in Science and Technology, she works for me.
Huh?
I'm the boss.
well, she's definitely, yeah.
There must be a way to synthesize the necessary neurotransmitters to regulate
I'm liking this new Simmons. I'm liking season 4 Simmons so far. Yeah.
I know it's a risk, but it's a risk we have to take. You have improved her social cues dramatically. We are on the cusp.
Really?
This
Fitz has improved her
is
social
a
cues?
Turing test. I mean, who better
Fitz.
to put Ada through her paces? Good.
We'll
We'll leave the women to it, shall we?
He is not amused. Fitz is not amused.
Yeah, how's that working out so far?
Okay, you know she's a boss lady when she's wearing such a dapper suit. You know she's a boss lady when she's wearing a suit.
Came through.
Oh, James, the bootleg Ghost Rider.
Hive.
Now we have the real Ghost Rider. Have the real Ghost Rider kick James's ass. Yeah, have Robbie kick James's ass. Show him who the real Ghost Rider is.
You can't push us away and then come crawling back half dead only when you feel like it. It isn't fair.
She's right, it
You
isn't.
already put a gun to my head. We're in this together now. So suck it up.
They're totally girlfriends. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. They're totally girlfriends.
I made a deal with the devil.
Yeah, literally hell. Yeah. It's gonna take them a while to get used to that whole kind of new concept, to deal with the devil.
Okay. You believe any of this stuff we're dealing with?
I believe in God, so I gotta believe in the other thing.
I think it's time I make a deal with the devil myself.
Really? You want a flaming skull too? You already have a robot hand.
That said, we're gonna have to keep you just a wee bit longer for further testing.
Just a wee bit longer.
So go pee.
Excuse me?
Agent May says you can shove all your tests up your ass.
Nice.
Speak Chinese. Where are you from?
Well, most of me is Chinese.
Canadian. She's Canadian. Ontario. Yeah.
Most of her is
population.
Chinese.
Yeah, she did move around a lot as a kid because she's an army brat.
You've been hiding Ada from me. It's too bad. I like her. No nonsense, just business. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Amazing that a robot is the one
They
thing
don't
May
make 'em
gets
like
along
Ada, do
with.
they?
Yeah.
She's been overheating a bit lately. Nothing to worry about. Brother's good. He's good.
A quantum particle generator. It's a machine that can create matter out of practically nothing at all.
Huh.
That sounds...
It's gonna go after the book.
The Dark Code.
I don't know what it's called. They gave him the knowledge to build a machine.
Huh.
It has all the knowledge that anyone could ever need.
So that's why they look dead then, because Joseph killed them. Whoa, she can do that.
Where's the book?
Whose life was Fitz saving when he lied?
Why, yours.
Oh, what's that gonna tell her though? That her existence is a danger to people, and that her truth has to be modified and shit. Oh, the watchdogs! Oh, whoa!
You gave them access to your watch.
You son of a bitch.
You sold them out. I knew it. I had every reason to be skeptical.
You do this to me. If I could take it all back, I would.
Shield is putting everything into.
Okay, now I want Robbie to kick his ass. I really want Robbie to kick his
Watchdogs
ass.
have the right idea. Help them hunt and kill every inhuman.
Oh, he's working with them indefinitely.
Hunted like the animals that we are.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Don't let James run before Robbie can catch him. Oh, that's it, Simmons. That's it. It's an ISA, but still, yeah.
Do another move like that and you're likely to break every bone in your arms.
Yeah, let's not do that then. Reminds me of Izuku from My Hero. Yeah, just not being able to use every ounce of power in case he just demolishes his arm. No, leave those chains for Robbie. Robbie deserves those chains. You son of a bitch. No. Robbie! Yeah.
Now, who the hell do you think you are?
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Oh, you can't even do half the shit that he can, James. You can't do half the shit he can.
It's time to pay for your sins.
Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez, again, nerdy high.
Fight fire with fire.
Yep.
It's a saying, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. In this case, very applicable. In this case, very, very applicable.
I will be the last one to die.
Oh.
The two fire dudes just drop into a warehouse.
Oh.
You had to see that coming.
Yeah, that is just some very, very explosive irony. Oh yeah. Oh hey, let's celebrate Robbie versus James. Let's celebrate Robbie versus James. Yeah.
Shit alive, right?
Preferably alive, as annoying as he is. Yeah. Keep the chains. Keep the damn chains. I'm sorry. This like the second half of this episode is just me geeking out. That's it. Yeah. Oh, it's too much. It's too much.
We work together to keep everyone safe.
Yeah.
From things like this.
The dark code. Have they found the dark code?
The book my uncle was talking
The dark code.
Infinite knowledge. I don't know what it is. But I do
Yeah,
know
it was
that
different
it's all
from
of
the
our
one
best
in
interest to keep
One
it out of the
Division.
wrong
Yeah.
hands. You don't need us? Fine. Right now we need you.
Come on, rejoin Shield. Just like the old days with a new ally. Come on, Ghost Rider with Shield. That is a win any day of the week.
Do you have any idea where to start?
How long have you been lending a hand to our friend Dr. Radcliffe?
Since he gave me hands.
Yeah, Colson can write on that end, yeah.
Wow. Impeccable work.
Now I see why you've been spending so much time here.
What?
Ada, she's beautiful.
Is she?
See, even Simmons
Oh,
sees
yeah,
it.
she's
Yeah.
alright, I guess. I prefer classical beauty myself. Those are weird things to say about a person.
Fitz, she's an android. You do know she's an android, right?
Of course I know she's an android. Because I help.
God damn. As always, an amazing episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. An amazing episode. So, yeah, this was, as you could tell, this was a very, very fun episode to get into, a very fun episode to watch. So we had a bunch of things. I want to talk, right, first off, I want to talk about my girls, Daisy Johnson and Gemma Simmons. They, you know what, like, this episode just proved I need more episodal content of them two together. Like, they're girlfriends. They're girlfriend. Like, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. Like, I don't make the rules. I don't know who does make the rules, but it's definitely not me. You know, like, they are just undeniably great together. They work so well together. Their chemistry is just, I mean, from season 1, their chemistry has been amazing, and like the way their friendship has been developed through the seasons is just, you know, beyond like awesome. Like, yeah, I mean, you know, like Fitzsimmons is one way, but then Daisy Simmons, if that can be a thing, or like Daisy Simmons. If there's a ship name for Daisy and Simmons, then please, by all means, let me know. I would love to know that. But either way, I think, you know, like, Daisy and Simmons works as an OTP, but even like as just like a pair of good old girlfriends, they definitely work. And just like the way they get along together, and especially I think like as the seasons go by, like, they deal with new stuff, they deal with new kind of ways to trick their enemies and to fight and to learn and to just be badass, and it works. It's just such a joy to watch them on screen, and I have little to no doubt that it, as you know, shows like this usually go, it also kind of definitely helps to have the actors themselves be friends. So I have no doubts that Chloe and Elizabeth themselves are great friends in real life. So Daisy and Simmons is just a pleasure. It's just a gift, really. It's a gift. Daisy and Simmons is a gift. So yeah, they are the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. girlfriends. So that's awesome. But seeing them working together in this to get through S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff, and I think that S.H.I.E.L.D. thing too. Like, I think, you know, like sending Simmons in undercover and doing, like, getting her to play along with all these different games and to get to pretend to do stuff. It's all really season 1 stuff. It's like season 1 stuff, like it's all like the basics of like undercover work, or making Simmons pretend to do something, like when she sent her in and she had to kind of somewhat flirt with Agent, what's his name, the Hydra guy, the baldy, can't remember what his name is, Agent Sitwell, Jasper Sitwell. Yeah, like, she was like, oh god, you have such a giant head, like a shiny head, and just had to end up knocking him out right there and then. Like they've come a long way since then. They've come they have come so far since then. That's like so much so that like Gemma now. She is the boss of the woman that that Daisy originally sent her to actually get in past. She is now like that high. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory given that she's in the director's inner circle. Like that alone sounds like a very, very high level of shield security clearance, and the director works in like an underground base, and he has like very, very few people. He expectedly has very few people that he actually closely reports to and closely takes in reports from. So Gemma being there is just like, it's honestly just like a testament to how hard she works and how well she works and how much her work is valued at Shield, and just how strong of a woman she is. So it's honestly a testament to that. But just hearing her say that, being like, I'm the boss, like that woman you wanted me to get in past and trick and be undercover with, like, she technically works for me. I'm the boss now. Like, that's just how it is. Like, just her sass, the casuality of her saying it, like, I'm the boss. I run like a quarter, like most of the science and technology division stuff going on here. So I have that kind of power now. I'm Gemma Simmons, and I have that kind of power. Like it's just amazing to hear, and amazing to see. So that was really, really cool. But yeah, no, so just Simmons just has that boss lady vibe now. Season 4 Simmons has a boss lady vibe about it, and I am living for it. I'm here for it. So that is really awesome to see. But Daisy, I think Daisy wasn't doing too good either. I mean, that opening scene alone, like that opening scene of her being in the apartment, like even after the opening credits, like her like being patched up by Simmons, like that's just girlfriend content. That's just girlfriend content. Like her being patched up and just sitting there as Simmons treat her, and then Simmons mothering her with all these different pieces of advice and complaints and stuff like that. Like that is quality Daisy Simmons content too, and it's just like the way they are together too. It just feels right, and it feels good to watch. So the writers are definitely doing something right there, and again the actors themselves. So yeah, I honestly, if I had the time to, I would gush over Simmons and Daisy all day. I would, because I think if there's anyone I can gush over more than Fitzsimmons, it's Daisy Simmons. That's literally how I am. So yeah, but Daisy Simmons was great. So that was fun. And we had Fitz and Simmons apartment hunting too. They were in the beginning. They were actually apartment hunting, and like I think Simmons had like a whole thing that she was into. Like I think like a bed and breakfast type thing, or like a breakfast like a breakfast joint, or like something that even Daisy. So I mean, Daisy had been actually hacking into her internet history and actually looking up places and things that she'd actually looked for, and then she found the apartment that Simmons would most likely Simmons actually set up like a kind of viewing of the place, so she knew to actually hide out there too. So Daisy just didn't know. Daisy knows what her girl likes. Daisy knows what her girl likes, and she knows to hide out there just so that she can actually wait there for some expert medical assistance and everything. So I love that. I love that kind of relationship dynamic. But it's good to see that I think Fitz and Simmons are actually moving forward in their own relationship, and they're actually going that extra step. And I think Simmons did actually mention that it's like a bigger step, that like they'll see how it goes once it goes down. But I think and I think not that I have any relationship experience at all, but I think it's kind of fairly common knowledge that actually moving in together and actually sharing that kind of living space and sharing that kind of method of your life is a pretty big stage for anyone to handle. So I think with Fitzsimmons again, we've seen them grow, we've seen them become what they are now, and I think like having faith in them is pretty reasonable. Like they're both grown adults. They've kind of had to make sure that they can handle themselves before they can handle anyone else, and of course they've kind of lived on the bus together, and even in the underground shield base together too. So I think like actually having like a human home to themselves is. I think I think I don't know what it is, right? Like I think like living together in a shield plane, or like in like a shield base, like to me seems a little bit more demanding or draining or whatever than it does living in like an actual human home. Because I think even with the shield base, like like they go to their own individual, like they have their own rooms themselves, but then when they wake up and they open the doors, like they're surrounded by tons of other people. So I feel like having a it's basically preparation for actually having like a normal human home, and especially like something small like an apartment is it's essentially somewhat the same thing, just not allocated to just not allocated by Shield. So yeah, but it's I think it's cute that they were apartment hunting, and it's cute that I think they like that Simmons definitely found something that she likes, and hopefully Fitz will like it too. So it'll be interesting to see how they develop this next stage. In the thing, and I think, and again, I think this kind of addresses my whole kind of marriage thing at the in the last one, like me hoping they would get married, because now that I think they're moving fairly fast, like through to that kind of phase, I think, and I think. Well, I can definitely eventually see them being ready to get married. Like despite all they've gone through, they've definitely established their own relationship now as boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're looking to move in together too. So I think at some point now that I mean, despite whatever else the universe might throw at them, I can definitely kind of see them at some point within the show's run getting ready to get married, or maybe if the show even ends with them getting married like that, or I think that could be cool. Yeah, like if the show actually ends with them getting married, and that's like I mean, yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. But I think either way, it's like they're kind of like the show, like part of the show is carried on by the kind of continuous blossoming of their relationship into different stages and different things they partake in as a couple. So I think marriage could be their end game. Marriage could be their end game. Like the final season could be like like them actually getting married and living together and continuing that section of life and everything. So. Yeah, but either way, Fitzsimmons just, as always, just goals. And we had a little bit more time spent with Elias Marrow, I think it's Marrow. I think it might be Marrow, Uncle Eli, as Robbie and Gabe call him. So we knew from a couple of episodes back that he did work at the same lab as the other team, and he was kind of involved with them and stuff. But now we know that they were actually working. So yeah, they used the dark code pretty extensively. The dark code much more like an episode briefly explored in this episode briefly explored, but not yet actually fully kind of fleshed out or anything. Which I'm fine with. There's more down the line. There's more episodes down the line, so I can definitely live with that. But yeah, but they Lucy and Joseph. So we've seen Lucy, and Joseph was in a coma. He just woke up thanks to Lucy actually waking him up and asking him where the book is. But Lucy and Joseph were part of the team, and Hugo and I think what was the other guy's name? Vince or like Victor or something with a V, I don't know, but they were a part of the team, and Elias was also like a kind of somewhat lesser member of the team. Like he said that they wanted someone who wouldn't ask too many questions, so to them that was Elias. Like he worked well but didn't really inquire too much or investigate. So yeah, but they had used the dark code to make something called a quantum particle generator, so something that actually creates nothing, or creates something out of nothing, creates matter out of nothing. So they were kind of to hit Elias. I think they were playing God and playing with the rules of creation and destruction and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it kind of makes me wonder what kind of stuff they were creating, and especially if they created it using knowledge from the dark code, like what kind of stuff it would let them create. Because I mean, the dark code is a book of magic and a book of spells, so it's like using that to create like man-made scientific technology seems kind of intriguing to me. So it's like because like. Not to go all cliche with the witchcraft, but like I think it's hard to imagine using using it for anything other than putting stuff in like a cauldron and stirring and stuff like that. I mean, again, not to go too cliche, but still, like it's hard to think that something like the dark code could result in actual like science or like actual kind of human engineering and stuff. Which I mean, it didn't, because I think that could be that it end like using the dark code to create it could mean that they end up actually creating like a device that can spawn demons or some shit. But either way, it was enough for Elias to actually start worrying and being concerned about this. And then I don't know what he said after that, but I think he mentioned that then after that Joseph got like I think Lucy got worried, and then she got the police involved or something, and then Joseph just snapped and killed everyone. So now we know why they actually look like those kinds of ghosts, because Joseph actually killed them. But then I think maybe using the dark code could have kept them alive, or maybe the quantum particle generator could have kept them alive or something. Maybe it did like the opposite of what it was meant to do. But either way, I mean, either way, they've been kind of kept within that kind of limbo of being dead and alive, like kind of Schrodinger's humans, if you will. But yeah, so then he after finding out that he killed everyone else, then he snapped and turned on Joseph and tried to kill him because it was attempted. So then he put him in a coma. He is Joseph. He's the reason that Joseph was in a coma, and he's now serving time. So That's interesting. But yeah, so I think the Darkhold, now everyone's connected. Now everyone is connected with the Darkhold, and yeah, you know what? I'll get to that in a minute because I think that stuff is interesting. But I kind of want to go like through like the cycle of like somewhat through the cycle of chronology. So the Darkhold was used to create the quantum particle generator. So the Darkhold is used by momentum energy labs. I'm sure there's another word in there somewhere, but momentum energy labs. So yeah, and I think that also like ties into like humans using weapons that they can't control, and I think that reminds me of Tony using the Mind Stone to create Ultron, and like tying back into Thor's kind of Thor's line from Age of Ultron being like, oh, this could have all been avoided if you hadn't started playing with something that you don't understand, like playing with elements and tools that you don't fully understand yet. So like the Mind Stone, I mean, like Jarvis analyzed the Mind Stone and he understood it the only way that he knew how, which was actually, starting to decipher and detect computer code and stuff, and then using that to create Ultron, and everything. But deep down, it was a celestial object. The Mind Stone was one of 5 other celestial objects and everything, and it was like the greatest power in the universe, and it led to the like 4, 5 different times and everything. So it's capable of many things. I think so it makes me wonder, and especially like the Darkhold, and again like this, I think Coulson said it was like a book of like infinite knowledge and infinite wisdom and infinite spells too. So I think it's definitely got to do with magic, some kind of sorcery, and we know that it's like the Darkhold is officially in the MCU too. Now we have further confirmation of it in WandaVision. So then that makes you wonder what kind of stuff it's in, and if they open this up, is it gonna have the Scarlet Witch section? Is it gonna? Because I think Agatha said that Agatha said that there was an entire chapter dedicated to the Scarlet Witch. So that must have been one of the things that Wanda was definitely reading at the end of her series. So I think it makes me wonder, like, if they actually find the Darkhold in this and they crack it open, are they gonna find like some kind of ancient kind of scrawling of the Scarlet Witch and like just read out like like a being? I think what was it like a wielder of chaos magic, Agatha mentioned, but also like a being a kind of a mythical being capable of spontaneous creation too. So I think that could also kind of maybe tie into this, because if they were creating a machine that could create something out of nothing, then like a being of spontaneous creation, like maybe they could kind of use end up creating a machine that could be like a mere mimicry, like a human mimicry of Wanda's powers, because Wanda can create things out of nothing. So if Lucy and her team managed to actually create a machine that could mimic Wanda's powers, then there has to be that kind of chapter. So yeah, because I think that machine basically does, like, if that is what the machine does, then it's mimicking Wanda's powers. I mean, like Wanda's powers, like they started from nothing, or started from simpler kind of hex plus and hallucinations, and then she ended up actually creating a house, creating a kid, like 2 kids, and recreating her husband, and then actually creating a hex that modified everything inside. So the machine itself must be like some kind of mere mimicry that kind of maybe that did the same thing. Like maybe it created something that looked similar on the outside, but then on the inside it wasn't really all that similar, or didn't really operate the same way. So it was very, very kind of different and dangerous as a result. So I don't know. I guess we have to wait and see. But I really do badly want this to kind of help canonize AOS within the MCU, and for this to help kind of with that kind of connectivity, because I think like as time goes by, we barely get anything more than fleeting references and name drops and Easter eggs, and nothing actually workable. I mean, not to say I don't love how much and how well Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stands on its own, but it's like, having it connect to the larger universe would actually, help with the immersion and the kind of unification of the kind of characters in the story that much more. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I think I don't expect them to explore this the same way it was in WandaVision. And even in WandaVision, it was literally only explored for like an episode or 2, so it wasn't really that much. But with this one, like we get like an entire series dedicated to this. I'm undeniably more excited to see how it plays out in this, and then going into Doctor Strange 2. So yeah, and also I don't know. I feel like I need to watch Doctor Strange again, because I've only seen that movie twice, and it's been a long time since the second time I watched it. But I feel like if that is what the Darkhold is, it should be one of those, like, if the Sanctum has like a restricted section, then it needs to be like, because I mean it's a spell book, so by default it needs to be. I feel like it needs to be in the hands of someone like Doctor Strange, like the Sorcerer Supreme. Despite the fact that the Scarlet Witch is stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme, I know, but still, it feels like it feels like if it's a magic book, then it's definitely something that Doctor Strange would want to be kept away in his kind of sanctum, like protected, rather than in the wrong hands. So I don't know how things are gonna go with this, and I'm honestly I'm so curious as to how we're gonna find it in this, like whose hands we're gonna find it in or where we're gonna find it. Because I can't imagine they're just gonna walk into a room and finding it sitting on like a coffee table or something. I imagine they either might find it buried somewhere or inside like some kind of mystical place, or they might find someone with basic knowledge of it in use of it, and they might try and hunt that person down and find the book or something. Because I think, given what the Darkhold is and how powerful it is, I honestly just can't imagine they just kind of stumble upon it in like a random episode. I mean, they might catch a hint of it in like randomly in an episode, but I think I just can't imagine it actually just is just like a spontaneous pop up of any kind. So yeah, but the Darkhold created some tech at Momentum Energy Lab, so people, and I mean normal human people and advanced technology very rarely blend well together, as we've seen in this show. They very rarely blend. So I'm curious as to what direction this goes in. And yeah, then we ran into the low rent Ghost Rider we had last season, which was James. So I mean, we got downsides and an upside to his return in this episode. So he is also registered in human. Not only that, but based on that reveal of him having been working with the Watchdogs this entire time, he's also intent on being one of the good ones, like the member of a minority group that insists that they're not like the others, and hell, he'll even help the Watchdogs actually hunt. Like, he was willingly helping the Watchdogs hunt down and kill the other Inhumans, and he was actually so full of self-hatred that he was like, you know what, I'll let you kill all of them. Oh, I'll let you kill me last, so long as you let me watch you kill all of them. Like, he was so full of that, and I think just like that quick turn of the tables too, like insisting that Daisy was lying about him wanting to be Inhuman all along and being obsessed with Terrigenesis, and him being willing to work with Hive too, and him just pretending that like Hive and the bloodshed was all like a nightmare for him, and him never wanting to be like this monster or anything. Like, he's just honestly, Rush. Like, more of me was skeptical than hopeful. Knowing it was James, a lot more of me was skeptical than hopeful, and it just kind of like I think part of me was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because of how badly the Hive stuff went down. Like the Hive stuff going down so badly, and like that connection being lost made me feel like he was somewhat going through the same withdrawal that Daisy might have been. That he maybe lost all hope of leadership and victory and glory in the future, and then after that he had no choice but to become a registered Inhuman and then live like a normal life and everything. So I mean, part of me felt like that was part of what his kind of doom and gloom was. But then in the end, it's like, no, I mean, it kind of. I mean, on the one hand, it could be, but on the other hand, it could also just be that he's like he's literally just acting out of pure self-interest. He's literally just acting out of pure self-interest. If he feels like he can last long enough to watch them kill the other Inhumans, and in that time, he might also be able to craft like some kind of escape plan, so he gets the other Inhumans killed, and then he manages to escape the grips of the Watchdogs too, and then go back to I mean, he can't go back to his RV, but maybe go back to Australia or somewhere else or something. But yeah, like seeing him turning into that was so unsurprising yet so infuriating at the same time. Seeing him turn into like one of the good ones, like that member of like any minority group is just like so full of like that has so little self-respect, that they're willing to either stand by and watch as fellow members of their group get attacked and discriminated, or they're willing to actually jump into the fray and actually be like, oh, don't worry, I'll help you, like attack them and take them down too, so long as you leave me last or don't leave me at all or anything like that. So just seeing that was just just like it was unsurprising because it was James, but then because that kind of mentality is also so real in the world, it was just infuriating. But it was James, and honestly, right, the upside. You guys know the upside. Oh, Robbie versus James. We actually had that, and they one upped. I did not think that they could one up from season 3's chain whip. Like his chain whip in the alleyway. Like that was where I first kind of envisioned like Ghost Rider's powers being in the MCU. Like chains being whipped and being set on fire as it is in like slow motion. Like that was where I first envisioned it. So I was like, wow, that is such like a cool imitation, like a cool mimicry of Ghost Rider's powers and stuff. And it's like a really cool sign that if they ever did decide to bring Ghost Rider in, then they could actually do his chains and do his powers and stuff. Like like James's powers like are kind of somewhat similar to his with the fire stuff. But then even you guys in the comments are just like like, don't worry, this is the lower end Ghost Rider. Like the real Ghost Rider could be better than this. And I think I think some people even point out that even in the comics, like Hellfire, like his character is based off of Hellfire from the comics, who isn't an Inhuman, but is actually like somewhat like a character of relation to Ghost Rider, and like Ghost Rider's powers and his kind of mythology and stuff. So that was cool. But yeah, but honestly, seeing them bring him back only for him to get his ass whooped by the real Ghost Rider was just chef's kiss all around. Chef's kiss all around. Like him doing that almighty chain whip with the fire on, only for the end of it to be grabbed by Robbie. As soon as that leather gloved hand, like as soon as that hand came up and I saw the leather gloves and the leather jacket sleeve on it, I was like, the real Ghost Rider's in the game now. Like Robbie coming in, grabbing that chain out of nowhere, and being like, "Oh, nice fire chains! I could definitely use something like this." And him coming in as well, just Robbie versus James. Just that is the pinnacle. That is the pinnacle of that meme. The Mystique meme from from X-Men, even the Mystique meme from X-Men, where it's like like Mystique is lying in Magneto's bed, and he's like, I want the real Magneto. I want the real Mystique. I said the real Mystique, and then he's like, perfection, just absolute perfection. Like that, like this episode is the pinnacle of that meme. Like I want the real Ghost Rider. I said the real Ghost Rider. Perfection. But yeah, and then they fought very briefly too, and I think it cut away initially, like at first he actually threw like a fireball at Robbie's face, which did little to no damage. I mean, it burned away his skin, but I mean his entire head turned into a flaming skull in his skull anyway, so like a little bit of fire is little to nothing. And then he actually, it cuts away, and then when it cuts back, he's got the full flaming skull head, and he's face to face with James, and James is finally seeing, what he could never be. James is looking into the face of the being, of the badass that he could never be, even with his kind of explodey-wody powers and everything. So, so good, so damn cool. You know what I mean? I think all in all, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. not only knows what fans want, but the writers know what makes for cool kind of action scenes, what makes for cool face-offs, like what makes for a really cool face, because I think they know that if they're going to introduce someone like James and give him those kinds of powers and make fans think of characters like Ghost Rider, they're like, okay, at some point we have to actually bring in Ghost Rider, and we have to actually bring James in and have them face off. Like, we have to have the kind of budget Ghost Rider facing off against the high budget Ghost Rider, like the low budget Ghost Rider facing off against the high budget Ghost Rider, and like make fans see that yeah, we can do it and we will do it. We definitely will do it. But yeah, no, James versus Robbie was so damn good. Like Robbie didn't even break a sweat. He didn't break a sweat, but James was just probably pissing his pants and everything. So that was fun. And even after they actually fall into the heart of the fireworks store, they go from the storage unit into the fireworks store, and they just kind of end up blowing the entire place up. And then the fireworks go off like a celebration of Robbie and James' first meeting, and he was ass whooped. And then he comes out, dragging James by the neck with the chains and everything. So Robbie wins. No fatality needed, but Robbie wins. Robbie wins easily. So I am so very glad we got that this episode. I'm so very glad. So yeah, Robbie wins. And yeah, I think going back to the stuff about the Darkhold, so now, so at the end of the episode, Coulson did say that now, S.H.I.E.L.D., since it's what's now the truth behind the accident at the lab and the new ghost people, and Elias and his involvement and everything, like it is the kind of key linking them all together. So now they all have to kind of work together to find it. Because he even said, you guys may want to work on your own without any shield interference, but this is clearly like a cosmic level force that's driving us all together. So we have no choice but to work together and to prevent this from falling into the wrong hands. So he even mentioned that the Darkhold had been sought out by not one, not even two, but three people throughout history, and like three names that we instantly recognize. So it had actually been sought out by Red Skull, which makes sense. Red Skull like wanting something like that makes sense. It had been sought out by Whitehall, which, given his Hydra association and his involvement, and also his work with the Diviner, that also makes sense. And Fury too. Fury, that one. I think I'd say that one also works out, but I mean, I'd say that one also kind of checks out. But it also intrigues me, like Fury wanting that, like, because I think the one thing linking all of these men together is the fact that they've all come across objects of celestial power and objects of great unearthly power, and even last season, like Gideon Malik mentioned that Red Skull, like he was the leader of the Nazi kind of side of Hydra. And he even believed in Hydra's core principle that true power didn't come from Earth and that true power didn't come from this world. So then that would make sense for him. And Whitehall, like definitely, like he worked with the Diviner. He kind of grew from Red Skull's kind of thing. So he grew from Red Skull's sect of Hydra. So he would definitely believe in that same thing too, and he would definitely believe in achieving that kind of power, and especially the Darkhold being the Darkhold, it's something that would attract people both good and bad, because it definitely kind of, it reminds me of, right, I don't know if this is a good enough comparison given story and power levels, but it reminds me of the Book of Destiny from the Arrowverse, from like the Elseworlds crossovers. It reminds me of that. Like with that one, with that book you can literally shape reality and change it as you see fit. So with that one, it's less about spells and literally about actually using cosmic forces and celestial forces to actually shape reality and rewrite it to how you see fit, like on like near kind of baseline levels. But with the Darkhold, again, it's been said to be like a book of like a book of spells and a book of infinite wisdom and knowledge and stuff like that, and like again, like with a name like the Darkhold, it sounds badass and dangerous, so it makes sense that all these men would want it. And then Fury on the other hand, Fury would want it. I mean, based on his work with the Tesseract, there would definitely be kind of questions as to whether he would want it to experiment with or want it to keep in like a deep dark kind of shield black archive or something. But at the end of the day, Fury and his kind of leadership in mind, Fury would definitely want to keep it out of he would definitely want to keep it out of bad hands. So once he discovered its existence, it definitely makes sense that he would seek it out in order to send a team after it and retrieve it and then bring it back to S.H.I.E.L.D. where it can't really see the light of day again, so then no one else can actually stumble upon it and accidentally cause the end of the world or something. But it's very interesting to know that all those men have sorted out. All those men have sorted out. All the kind of all the big names we would recognize. All these men of great power and great kind of history and like involvement with like mystical objects and mystical powers. It makes sense that once they found out about the existence of such a book, then they would actually try and find and they would actually seek it out. But I think given that the Red Skull actually has his debut in the first Avenger showed us that he is actually willing to do the research and willing to actually study the history and the art and the kind of mythology behind various objects. Like it's how he found the Tesseract in that old chapel, in the Tree of Life kind of diagram with the one kind of draw thing that pulls out and then shows you the Tesseract and everything. So I think for him, I think for that reason, I feel like he might have come closer because he was willing to. But I feel like with Whitehall, I think with Whitehall and Fury, like they might have actually started out on their own, but then after maybe severe vetting, they could have actually contracted a team within Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. respectively to help them search it out as well, like they did with investigating the Diviner and the Tesseract and everything. They investigate it individually, but then once it actually comes to searching for the thing, they actually recruit like a team to actually help them find it out. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, hearing that those names alone have actually sought out the Darkhold, especially kind of, like lends great testament to what a powerful object this book is and how dangerous it can be in the wrong hands. So that makes me all the more excited to see how it's introduced, and also I want to see who uses it, because then you can't introduce a weapon of that much power and not expect like some kind of evil villain. So I mean, it makes me wonder who the it makes me wonder who the villain might be, because I can't imagine it's only the ghost. I feel like we might get the villains for like the ghosts as villains for the first half of the series and for the first half of the season, and in the second half we might have someone else. I feel like I'm curious as to who that might be. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like some like higher power might come in, reclaiming or like searching for the book, and then like they might be the one who's actually celestially kind of capable of actually understanding the book and what its true secrets are. And then they might come in reclaiming that power and inflicting it on the earth and everything. So then that might be where Ghost Rider comes in and stuff. But yeah, I think either way, it's going to be a fun ride. And yeah, there was that kind of unspoken silence between, well, kind of spoken, but mostly unspoken silence between Coulson and Daisy. Like as soon as Daisy walks into the room, like that's the first time Coulson's actually seen her since she went off the grid, since she went AWOL. He hasn't seen her since then, so it's a very surprising moment, and then that's the first time Daisy and Mac are running into each other since Mac found out that she's been in constant contact with Yo-Yo, and she's been taking the bone healing medicine too. So it's all very 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 kind of introductory slash seconductory and stuff. So it's very very kind of special in that regard. But yeah, no, it's yeah, and I think there was that thing, like that scene on the plane too, when he's actually going by and like she's thanking him for doing it, and he's like, yeah, it's fine, it's all good, and he's like, like you can say what you want to say if you want to. He's like, I got nothing else to say. Like you can see it in his eyes, you can see it in Clark's, like in Clark's eyes, in Phil's eyes, you can see in Phil's eyes that they're like there is so much more on his heart that he wants to say. But on the one hand, Robbie is right there, and he doesn't want to kind of turn it into this awkward family reunion that Robbie's just forced to sit through. But also he also kind of feels like like there's better times, and especially now that he has news that he's actually caught wind of the Darkhold, and now they're starting this new search for this book. He also knows that like now that there are more pressing matters at hand, and at Shield we take charge with pressing matters and we leave the Watchdog stuff on the burner for now. So he's actually then kind of enforcing the fact that if you want to keep working with us, then you need to keep working with us. You can't just kind of like even Simmons calling her out in the beginning, like, you can't come crawling back to us every time you're on the brink of death and then leave as soon as you're healed up and go back to your little Watchdogs vendetta. Like, like S.H.I.E.L.D. is a team, and they're a team that works together no matter what the consequences. Even Fitz tried to drill that into her in the beginning, like being like, like, we've all gone through bad stuff, we've all gone through traumas, but, one thing that has actually kept us together is the fact that we have stayed together and we've actually helped each other through those traumas. So I think it's actually helpful watching most of the team actually kind of call Daisy out on her kind of separatist and kind of isolated kind of attitude, and it's like her thinking that this is something she needs to do on her own and she needs to pay penance for, because I think that is like even Robbie managed to identify that's what it was, that she was actually paying, that she was paying penance for having left Lincoln in her wake, even though he chose to sacrifice himself. Like for her it's like she even said to Coulson in the finale, like we can't let him pay for our mistakes or pay for our crimes and stuff like that. So Daisy, I think, something flew into my face. I don't know what it was. Even like what was I gonna say? I had a point. Like, I had a point. I've lost it. Something flew into my face, and I lost my train of thought. Yeah, but I mean, like, point being that it was actually good to see, good enough kind of portion. Like, so far, three people on the team actually calling Daisy out for the way she's been behaving, the way she's been treating the team and stuff. And and I think it also goes to show that like no one is really perfect. Like, I think like 4 seasons in throughout the show's run, different people have done kind of different things. Like Mac and Bobby kept the whole Shield 2.0 thing a secret from the rest of them, and even helped Shield 2.0 break in and actually take over Shield 1.0, like that whole thing happened, and everyone's had their dramas, everyone's had their secrets, everyone's had like their kind of way of dealing with things and coping with things. But I think, you know, like I think with Daisy's, this is her way of kind of dealing with that kind of trauma of actually having lost someone that she was connected to and in love with for so long, and now she's kind of separating herself from the team too and going on her own little kind of path. And I think she also, I think it's also partly because she, like, it's also like relative to Coulson's line about, you know, like, it's not how we do things at Shield. At Shield we leave some stuff on the back burner and deal with the more with the more urgent issues at the moment. Like she knows if she stays with Shield, they will not be able to they will not be able to help her handle the Watchdogs thing 24/7. Like, if she's on her own using Shield resources from time to time, then she will actually be able to, you know, catch on to the Watchdogs 24/7 and take them down in one fell swoop. But if she's with Shield, then it'll take more time, and there'll be more people holding her back too. There'll be more people actually holding her back and telling her to take a breather, take a step back, and then obviously that not happening is now why her, or like, I think it's like almost her entire arm now that's just had, like, you know, like black veins and cracks and stuff just going up in. She even caught like a bullet on the way to meeting Simmons, and then Simmons had to play Dr. Girlfriend and, you know, get the bullet out and stitch her up and everything. So yeah, Daisy is you know, working very, very differently, and it's kind of it's definitely harming the team's kind of perception of her, but it's also harming the way the team is kind of seeing her in this moment. So I think in time, Daisy will have to come to the light and kind of understand that the team is there for her, they care about her, but they also kind of have to, you know, start, like, you know, like decisions have to be made that, you know, don't 100% concern the Watchdogs, and it's just how Shield is. So yeah. And Radcliffe in this episode teaches Ada how to lie, so I'm sure that's not going to backfire in any way possible. But yeah, Ada was spending lots of time with Agent May. Agent May was actually spending time healing up and still kind of letting them run more tests on her to see how they could actually help cure the other kind of so the others, I think Chen died. I'm pretty sure Chen died, but I think maybe his men might be still alive. Maybe his men still have some time left on the clock, so maybe they're actually trying to figure out how to catch them. I don't know if there were others on the scene who were infected, or because we haven't seen, or maybe like the family from Los Angeles, they were infected. So I think we haven't really seen Lucy or anyone else actually going around and infecting anyone else. So yeah, and I think she mentioned Joseph in the house. She said this was that same Joseph. So her husband. So I doubt, like given now that the group knows they have to actually go out and look for the Darkhold. I kind of doubt that they're now going out still infecting more people. So it might just be that number now. So I think their lives pretty much have to be on the clock. I mean, given how quickly Chen died, I think their lives kind of have to be on the clock. And especially since they're not as well suited to hallucinations and ghostly kind of infection to the brain as Agent May is. So I think Radcliffe still wants to actually kind of avoid having to kill them, but he still kind of knows that, you know, like May's recovery can definitely help with the process, so still running tests on that end. But yeah, I can't help but say I just died when I died when May asked her like how she knew Chinese and where she was from, and she's like, oh well, most of me is Chinese, most of me is from China, like, you know, like bits and pieces actually probably made in China as technology these days goes. So like her responding with that, and then if it's jumping in with the Ontario, Canada. She's from Ontario. She's from Maple Syrup County and everything. So. But yeah, but I mean, Ada, I think they are definitely building her up to be someone who kind of goes by to mimic kind of human behavior, like Radcliffe made sure to kind of inform her that was the whole point, like that was the kind of that was the key to their guaranteed success and their continued kind of involvement together, and her continued kind of existence, that she had to actually pass for human and stuff. And even Fitz had actually worked on stuff like her responses and her kind of dialect and whatever, like actually making sure that like Fitz actually made sure that, you know, her responses and her kind of behavior patterns and stuff seemed human, and she could actually pass for human and everything. So seeing that kind of in work was good. And like again, like the actress I think is called Mallory Jansen, so she's again just doing such a fantastic job. And I think it definitely works now that I think we've seen more of her now that she actually has more people to actually have a scene with and more people to interact with. It definitely helps in that sense. I think going forward we're likely gonna see maybe just a little bit more of her interacting with the other Shield agents and seeing what happens on that front. But Mallory honestly is so far just smashing it, so I can't wait to see more of Ada. And again, Gemma's just in love with her too. Like she's just gonna just right off the bat admiring her response techniques and her kind of beauty and elegance and her possibility as a human. She's just admiring that off the bat. So yeah, I think Gemma likely just has a thing for women and amazing science, like amazing technology and women. Like you combine them, and Gemma just kind of just goes just insane over it. So yeah, and now Gemma also has managed to find out why Fitz has been spending so much time. I think, not gonna lie, like when she pulled him aside at the end and said, "Now I know why you've been spending so much time here with Radcliffe," I was like, in my mind, I was half expecting her to be like, oh, because there was another woman here that you were so fascinated by. But no, she herself is actually fascinated by the other woman here being like such a exquisite piece of technology and being such an exquisite advancement in technology itself. So she herself was arguably more interested in Ada than Fitz was, so that is a story of its own. But yeah, so I'm very curious to see how they go forward with Ada and curious to see like what she kind of becomes. Because technically, Ada is still artificial intelligence, and now she's learning, Radcliffe has taught her to lie. He's not only taught her to lie, but I mean, originally that one of the tenets that she claims he taught him was to never lie and to always focus on protecting agents and to never lie. But now he's actually he's not only teaching her to lie, he's also teaching her why some people lie. He's also teaching her that some people lie to protect agents and to actually shield others from truths and stuff that they're not ready for yet, and other reasons. So now he's actually gone from, okay, so you shouldn't lie, but sometimes it's okay to lie so long as it's for the right reasons and stuff. So now, with Ada being an AI, though, like AIs are constantly learning. They kind of have to be told what's good and what's bad and what's right and what's wrong. But then if you teach an AI morality, I think Ultron is what you get from that. Ultron spent 15 minutes on the internet and then decided that all of humanity needed to be wiped out. So I can't help but think of Ultron in this case, but at the same time I feel like with Ultron we only had 2.5 hours with him, or 2 hours at most with him. So with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being as long as it is and being what it is, being in a full-on fleshed out TV show, I feel like we're gonna get Ultron but better with Ada. I feel like we're gonna get a storyline like an AI of Ultron but better. So Ada is gonna. So I mean, I don't know if that means they're gonna make Ada the villain, or maybe they might just make Ada problematic. Like she might get them into trouble. I don't know if Okay, give me a second. The words will come, the stammer will go. Just give me a second. So I don't know if they're gonna make Ada a villain this season, but I think the very least they could do is make her maybe problematic because of all the things they're teaching her, and especially with Radcliffe teaching her to lie now, she could become problematic and get the agents and get Radcliffe into trouble with whoever the real villain is, whoever the kind of momentary villain is for that kind of portion of the series. So she could kind of be problematic and get them into trouble. But also with her being an AI, I feel like the opportunity to make her into a villain because of her kind of baseline existence as a computer program is almost irresistible, because it's like a tale as old as cinematic time. You create an AI, you create artificial intelligence, you create something that can eventually become capable of thinking for itself, and then it goes haywire, and then all the heroes have to stop it. It's not really exclusive to Age of Ultron. It's in almost any movie that has had a really powerful AI has had the AI end up backfiring on its creators and on the people it's meant to protect. And also from her debut, we know that Radcliffe designed her to protect Shield agents. So I feel like teaching her these different things, and also her just being an AI alone, her constantly learning new things. She might kind of analyze like she might end up analyzing like a hostile situation and then come up with all these different statistics and probabilities and chances of like actually saving an agent versus she might start calculating the chances of saving an agent versus sacrificing the agent, and get into trouble that way. But I think either way, I think they might make her problematic and make her hard to work with as an actual AI, but then I think whether or not they make her the villain is completely up to the writers. Like the opportunity could be there, they could build the opportunity up to do that very well, and they could definitely kind of treat that as kind of irresistible. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see. But you know, I mean, I never say no to female villains. That is like something, you know, people should know about me by now, and if you don't, then that is something you should know about me right now. I never say no to female villains. I never ever say no to female villains. Like a woman who wants to destroy the world or take over, or you know, be a villain. You know, it's a story worth watching. That's always a story worth watching in my book. So, you know, like whatever path they go down for Ada, I'm here for it. You know. I will simp, you know, all the live long day. So, you know, I mean, can you like you can't help but simp for Ada. Like Ada is kind of, you know, like undeniably gorgeous. So, you know, there's that, and then you know her being like a villain too would just, you know, I might need to turn the fan on in a bit, but you know, it's definitely like a story worth telling. It's definitely a story worth telling. But yeah, that is also going to be interesting to see how that section of the story unfolds going down the line. So, yeah. So yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this episode. It was a very fun one. So as always, cannot wait to see where they go from here. Looking forward to seeing more exploration of the Darkhold and more exploration of who Ada is and what she's capable of and what she turns out to be. More Robbie working with S.H.I.E.L.D., Ghost Rider working with S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be fun to see too. And yeah, Daisy Simmons and Fitzsimmons, all the Simmons, you know, I mean, Simmons just gets along with people. So seeing her, you know, like pairing her up with either Daisy and or Fitz just kind of makes sense. So either way, just looking forward to all of them. Daisy Fitzsimmons is a trio, just like a trio for the ages. So looking forward to all the more of them. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this one. So we'll be seeing you all in the next one. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Once again, the full-length reaction will be available on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.